everyone, and welcome to another edition of UBTV News Magazine, coming to you from the University of the Bahamas campus. I'm your host, Andrea Davel.
And I'm your co-host, Italia Clark. Our program has campus news, local news, health, business, entertainment, and so much more.
In campus news, the Culinary Arts Department at the university held a cook-off.
Things got heated in the kitchen as culinary students and faculty showed off their talents. Leah Cooper has the dish on these dishes.
A fusion of fellowship, fun, and flavor. The University of the Bahamas administrative team were surprised to a cook-off, Iron Chef style. Team members were placed into teams where a mystery basket was later revealed. We spoke to a few team members about their experience.
It was phenomenal. Let's put it in one word. It's nothing like cooking with the chief internal auditor and the assistant director in human resources and the office of the provost.
How did you feel when you discovered that coffee would be one of your ingredients?
I thought they had lost their mind. Coffee on salmon, but we found a way to incorporate it subtly so that it doesn't overpower the flavor of the food, and it came out pretty good.
We got a few choice words from the judges.
So some of them foodie, some of them cook their own food. And so we know from, hopefully I won't call name, but from some of them we know we have very spicy. And then we know some of them who like vegan and natural food. We'll have natural foodies.
So the criteria is for them to come up with a entree, which means a protein, and it so happens that their mystery basket ingredient was salmon, and they have to cook that along with a starch and a vegetable of their choosing and make a sauce to go with that. Zinger of the 4 mystery basket ingredients was Sanka instant decaffeinated coffee.
After a close competition, the charming cooks came out on top.
So how does it feel to be a champion?
It feels great! Awesome!
An afternoon jam-packed with flavor, team building, and leadership. The University of the Bahamas administrative team created memories for years to come. I'm Leah Cooper reporting for UBTV.
Italia, I remember when I first came here at the university, one of my first intentions was to get involved.
Luckily, the university holds a club showcase every year for students to get involved in a club here on campus. Here's Kenton Hepburn with that story.
The University of the Bahamas celebrates its annual club showcase. UB students flock at Independence Park. Greek life, service, and cultural organizations come together for one cause, for creating more well-rounded students.
Entertainment came in the form of Greek strolling and well-crafted choreography from several dance clubs and organizations. Music artist Sherwood Ramming graced the stage with his feature song No Sudging. Director of Campus Life Darvin Tucson shares why the showcase is significant in producing outstanding students.
This is important to student success because the more students are engaged on campus, the more they will persist, the more they will graduate. And so we want the percentage of student involvement to actually increase.
Golden Z PR manager Lauren Turner says she loves the club because of their community efforts.
What makes it enjoyable for me is giving back to people because we do, like I said, a lot of community service activities. Just seeing people, meeting new people, helping them is really the best experience I get from the club.
Students now have several clubs to choose from to advance their academic and professional careers. Reporting for UBTV, I'm Kenton Hepburn.
In other campus news, our school has really placed an effort into the environment.
It really has, Italia. UB launched its recycling program. Bethany McDermott has that story.
Today we're having our official launch of our recycling program.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Launch of the recycling program. President Rodney Smith says that he sees the university as the initiator of the kinds of massive change that we need to take place within the country.
I'm hoping that our students will become more aware of the need to recycle, and I hope that our students will then reach out into the middle schools and into the high schools and into the primary schools and help our young students also learn the need to recycle. We need to begin changing our way of thinking. We need to begin to change our culture. Instead of dropping waste along the roads or in different places, we need to learn how to recycle these things. We will really be able to address our landfill problems within the country, and we'll be able to make a greater contribution to our carbon footprint in terms of reducing it within our country as well.
Definitely the next step would be to expanding the program to different campuses, so UB North campus, Governor's Close campus, the residential campus, and then also adding more stuff like paper and also like ink cartridges to the program. And so that's the next steps I see for the program itself.
The university's goal is to get every student on every campus to recycle. But if you're not a part of the university, we still encourage you to reduce, reuse, and to recycle. Reporting for UBTV, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Sadly, a student of the university was knocked down at the pedestrian crossing on University Drive.
As a result of this unfortunate accident, the Student Government Association held a protest on behalf of the entire student body. Lawrence Seymour was there and tells us more.
They asked for this 10 years ago. 10 years later, look what's happened. In the span of 2 years, 3 students have been knocked down.
The University Student Government Association protested in the wake of a traffic accident where a student was knocked down while walking on the pedestrian crosser. The Center of Nursing and Allied Health Profession is frustrated and thinks it's time for students to take matters into their own hands.
Well, it has been a pressing issue for a while of students being knocked on the pedestrian crossing. There seems to be no respect by drivers as well as no resolutions by the powers that be. And so we decided to take matters into our own hands and march for our own safety.
Professor of English Studies marched in solidarity with students.
Several reasons. One, I was invited, and the other one is that this has been a vexing issue since we had the Michael Eldon. It's been something that I've heard and seen and witnessed students being hurt and harmed. And me myself crossing over have ducked a couple very close calls. So it's time for us to think about this. And it's not just this road. There's several other health and safety issues.
The president of SGA thinks that the protest was a success.
We are trying to bring awareness to, well, first and foremost, motorists, the administration, and the government of the Bahamas that something needs to be done at the pedestrian crossing, which has seen 3 students knocked in the past 2 years. We hope that either 4 things would happen. Either speed bumps would be built on either side of the crosswalk, either you would build an island in the middle so that people won't be able to overtake, either you build a boardwalk over it, or you close off that section altogether.
Don't knock us down, and we are not speed bumps were chanted throughout Thompson Boulevard as students march and protest. I'm Lawrence Seymour, reporting for UBTV.
In local news, the Red Cross held its 46th annual ball under the patronage of Governor General Dame Margaret Pinlan. Berthany McDermott has more on this grand event.
Attendees enjoyed smooth music from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, wine, and some good company as they stepped off of the red carpet.
This is a premier social event. This is the 46th time that we're doing this event. We've had a lot of success over the years. What we look forward to, these are difficult times, whether you look at it economically or perhaps even socially. What we'd like people to take away is knowing that the Red Cross is a stakeholder and a partner in humanitarian causes. And so consequently, we need funding. For example, this event, while we'll have some fun tonight, it'll be a significant funding event for the Red Cross.
We also met with Miss World Bahamas, who herself has been involved with the Red Cross Association.
Well, I'm actually here under 2 titles. So I'm here as Miss World Bahamas to greet the guests into the area, and also I'm here working with my company, which is the Island Game. They've sponsored the event. They're a platinum sponsor, And so right now, I'm just so excited to see all the people who came out to support such a grand event.
At the 46th annual ball, the Red Cross gave thanks by honoring persons that contributed so much to this organization.
Well, I think it's a great honor to be recognized by the Bahamas Red Cross. I have been participating in the work of the Red Cross since back in 1983. I was on the ball committee, the raffle committee, the fair committee. I was the treasurer, I was the deputy president. So I have a long standing with the Red Cross. I think that the work of the Red Cross is really, really important in this community, particularly when there's so much suffering. The Meals on Wheels program, the home health program, and the first aid program, they're all wonderful things. And I think that the community benefits greatly from the Red Cross.
As the night winds down at the 46th annual Red Cross Ball, attendees are still here enjoying all of the festivities. Reporting for UBTV, I'm Berthany McDermott.
In national news, the men and women of the Bahamas are doing outstanding work that continues to build our communities and nation.
Last month, JCN held its annual Person of the Year Awards, highlighting outstanding people in the community. Berthany McDermott was there.
We have been about highlighting Bahamian exceptionalism.
The Jones Communication Network is awarding persons in the area of business, medicine, and community development, in addition to their very own Person of the Year award, here at their media center. We spoke to pastor of the Great Commission Ministries, Pastor Walter Henschel, who shares what he feels were some of their major accomplishments throughout the year 2017.
Over the years, I think the fact that people know that if there's a place that would help them, if they're hungry, they could come to Great Commission. I think that's our greatest achievement. If they need somewhere to lay their heads, they can come to Great Commission. That's a key need in the country.
CEO of Alive and Business Person of the Year awardee Damian Blackburn tells us just how it feels to be awarded tonight.
It's fantastic. I accepted the award on behalf of the entire Alive team. The Alive team's worked so hard over the last year, and as the leader, I'm so proud of everything they've done.
These awards have become very prestigious because of a number of people who have gotten them. The first award was given to Sir Lyndon Pindling back in 2000. Archbishop Gomez followed, and people who have done some wonderful things in our country. Not only politicians, but medical doctors. Tonique Darling, when she won at the Olympics, she became the first female Person of the Year.
Now to the Person of the Year, in the person of Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis.
Feel great. What it shows is that the message is once you remain focused, remain positive, and always believe in yourself and believe in God, and always have to do what you think is right. Make sure your conscience is clear and be fair to everybody.
That wraps it up here for us at the Jones Communications Network Awards. We want to congratulate all the winners, and we wish them all the best in the near future. Reporting for UBTV, I'm Berthany McDermott.
In other national news, one of the major social issues being discussed is marital rape. A panel discussion was held at JCN. My co-host Andrea Davil tells us more.
When a wife reports that she's being sexually abused by her husband, it is a strong indication that the marriage...
In January, a symposium presented by the Bahamas Press Club at JCN was held to discuss the views from a panel of speakers on the controversial topic of marital rape. CEO of JCN, Mr. Wendell Jones, hosted the Speaker's Corner with 6 panelists, including Attorney General the Honorable Carl Bethel, to answer questions and concerns about marital rape.
Between the two extremes on this issue.
In criminalizing marital rape, it depends on how it's done, which will determine how negative the consequences could be. In marriages, all sorts of things can happen that cause either strain or stress or create a fundamental breach of the marriage. This idea of, a wicked wife using the threat of a charge of marital rape or sexual abuse against the husband, I think is very far-fetched and is what we would call in law a reductio ad absurdum.
Therapist and psychologist Dr. Barrington Brennan was one of the panelists who supports the criminalization of marital rape.
Beliefs, fallacious concepts of oneness in marriage.
This bill impacts everyone, the males and the females. It allows the females rather, to know that the government has their back and know that they have the same protection under the law, that is, women who are married, as single women. And this law restores the personhood of a woman.
And I salute all of those outstanding husbands.
President of the Bahamas Press Club, Anthony Capron, said this event was done to clear up any misconceptions society may have on marital rape.
After there was such a backlash from the public, after the rapporteur came and said what she said, and everybody seemed to be in a tizzy, we thought it would be a good idea to hold this panel and get everybody's views on it, so, we could sort of calm the waters.
The topic of marital rape is one that draws numerous responses from the many sectors of society. At JCN, a panelist of speakers came together to discuss the issue, still with no clear answers. Reporting for UBTV, I'm Andrea Darvel.
In health news, the Bahamas AIDS Foundation came to UB's campus to provide free testing for students and faculty. Jade Bethel has that story.
The Bahamas AIDS Foundation paid a visit to the University of the Bahamas to give students the opportunity to get tested for the virus.
A lot of persons are coming out doing testing, and that's a good thing. Over the years, we've done a lot of prevention in that way, so people are more aware of that. And they're seeing that testing is a very, very practical way of preventing infections and also helping an individual to make good decisions. That's important.
We ought to know what is going on with our bodies at all times in order to get the proper treatments. However, there are those who feel embarrassed and or ashamed to have infections such as these because of massive stigmas in the country.
Discrimination and fear is still a big part of HIV and AIDS around the world, not only in the Bahamas. And we know that that's a big problem because it stops people from getting tested, as we said. It also stops people, if they do get a positive diagnosis, from coming in to a healthcare facility or to a healthcare professional to get tested. And even when they take their medication, sometimes they're so fearful of other people finding out.
As a young person and just interacting with other young persons and hearing or actually having communication, having communicated with young persons, I know that it's not taken as serious as it should be, especially as it relates to abstaining. And the stigma even attached to abstaining, and the fact that in our society or within our culture it kind of is looked down upon or looked at as a joke.
Always remember, it is important that we know our status, no matter our age or gender. Here at UB, we encourage you to stay safe and get tested. I'm Jade Bethel for UBTV.
A new fitness program called Weight Watchers was introduced to the university for students, faculty, and the community.
The Culinary Arts Department gave healthy tips and recipes for persons who joined the group. Leandra Roll reports.
UB Culinary Arts and Tourism Department kicked off its first series of healthy cooking demonstrations at Choices Dining Room Restaurant. The healthy cooking event, which are a part of UB Fit's 12 Weeks of Wellness, was hosted by Chef Desmond, who gave several tips to those in attendance on how to prepare healthy and tasty foods. Attendees were also treated to a 3-course meal throughout the event, which included the garlic and cheese bruschetta, grilled yellowfin tuna with herb salad, and tofu cheesecake. Leslie Pinder shares which dish was her favorite.
Actually, I enjoyed all, but I like the bruschetta because it's quick. The salad was good. Everything was good. Everything was good.
Many attendees understood the importance of healthy cooking and expressed why they thought everyone should cook more healthy meals.
Well, healthy cooking is very important because you look at me, I'm coming close to 60 and I'm not, because I have learned to adjust a lot of the unnecessary calories that we don't need in our food.
Chef Desmond and his team thought the event was a success and hoped everyone learned some great tips on how to cook healthy and delicious foods.
I'm very pleased with the menu. Everybody seemed to enjoy themselves, and I think that the fact that we're focusing on healthy eating was the way to make sure that it was a great success.
A healthy meal is definitely a happy one, so be sure to try out these nutritious recipes at home. My name is Leandra Roll, reporting for UBTV.
And speaking of healthy choices, a diet alone is not enough. You must get out and get moving.
So here's another workout session with downtown Natasha Brown and her UB students.
Hi, I am downtown Natasha Brown and welcome to UB Fit. We are well into a brand new year, fitness goals and semester. My PED 104 team and I will demonstrate 2 simple functional exercises. Exercise number 1, half burpees with reverse leg lifts. Place your hands firmly on the ground to make sure that you sustain yourself in your burpees out and back. And you add your reverse leg lifts, making sure you maintain your head forward. Try not to be looking up because it will place your spine in an awkward position. Very comfortably, it sustains your abs and your entire core area as you enter into the reverse leg lifts. And now for our final exercise, jumping jacks with burpees. This is an excellent total body exercise. Make sure your hands are nice and strong and very, very explosive when you're doing this particular exercise. It elevates your heart rate. It is perfect for conditioning and improving your stamina, endurance, all at the same time. Make sure that your body stays erect, your abdominals are tightened, and you are breathing consistently at a balanced rate all the time. Remember, the secret of our health lies in our daily routine. It doesn't matter how you ended 2017. You've now got a fresh start in 2018. Remember, to find the results you are looking for, you've got to dig deep within. Until next time, I am downtown Natasha Brown and my PED 104 team. We will have another dynamic routine for you next month. You be fit!
In arts and entertainment, the Island House hosted a film festival, attracting Bahamian film directors such as Kareem Mortimer and producers from across the Caribbean. Here's Amy Ferguson.
The Island House is hosting its 2nd annual film festival, where they've opened their doors to local, international, as well as aspiring filmmakers and journalists. Let's take a look. This year's film festival was organized by Bahamian filmmaker Kareem Mortimer, who is the writer and producer of the Bahamian film Cargo, which was filmed in the Bahamas.
I've been a filmmaker for the better part. I started going to film school 20 years ago, so it's my 20th year pursuing this as a livelihood. It inspired me to make the movie. I'm interested in reflecting the culture of my home country in film. And so that was inspired it, and it's an ongoing topic that happens in our society, and I thought I was ready to explore it in a movie.
Michael Mullider, director of the Trinidad and Tobago film Green Days by the River, and his team was in full effect to support fellow filmmakers as well as to highlight their film.
So it's very interesting. It's a period piece and it's an adaptation of a book by the same title, which is Green Days by the River. It's a Michael Anthony book, and last year was the 50th anniversary of the book, so it was published in 1967. So it's been on like the school curriculum throughout the Caribbean, and we kind of made the decision to make it into a film, and now we're playing it anywhere that we could play it.
Students, a part of the Focus program, who aspired to be a part of the filmmaking industry, were mentored by international actress and stuntwoman Evelyn Asario Vicario.
I'm so blown away by the students
so creative, so talented, so inspiring, and so ready to work.
We're about done here at the Island House Film Festival. Reporting for UBTV, I'm Amy Ferguson.
In sports news, the University of the Bahamas has a new national record holder.
Wow, Andrea, that's right. Ken Mullings is now a heptathlon winner. Here's team coverage on that amazing story.
The University of the Bahamas celebrated the record-breaking achievement of Ken Mullings, a physical education sophomore. The university's president, Dr. Rodney Smith, gives some insight about what this means for the university.
This is very exciting. I believe that this is just the beginning of things to come. The Bahamas has so many talents here, student athletes, academically. It's wonderful for a program as young as ours, only a year old, to come out and actually make its presence felt internationally.
Well, this is a tremendous accomplishment for the University of the Bahamas. I mean, it's really a tremendous accomplishment for the Bahamas because we have a new national record holder. But that person to come from the University of the Bahamas holds significant, is a significant milestone, and we're very, very proud of Ken.
Here on the campus at UB, it was an exciting prep rally for our very own national record breaker. I'm Andrea Davel. Now let's go to Laurencia Smith, who interviewed Ken Mullings one-on-one.
Ken Mullings is not your average student athlete, but the national record holder for the heptathlon. Mullings added his name to the Bahamian record books at the Fred Wilt Invitational at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. He scored 559 points and demolished the old national record, which was held by Desmond Major. For 3 years, Mullings put in long hours preparing for his 7 events.
I've been training for the multi-event since I graduated from CC Sweden in 2015. Trying to do so without confidence or belief in myself, then you can't really accomplish nothing.
Mullings says he has a huge desire to one day add Olympian to his resume.
Of course I believe I can become an Olympian. That's what I train hard to do. I don't wake up in the morning for nothing else but to be great.
The star athlete prides himself on a simple but powerful motto.
Athletes is the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. That is what I use to motivate me most of the time as I come to practice.
We look forward to seeing Ken Mullings at the 2020 Olympics in Japan. For UBTV, I'm Laurencia Smith.
That's all from us this month here at UBTV News Magazine. I'm Andrea Davel, and as always, it was a pleasure having you with us.
And I'm Natalia Clark. If you have any comments, questions, or story ideas, feel free to email us at ubtvradio@ub.edu.bs. Thanks for watching.
See you next month.
Bye.